So we finally got an episode of the youngest brother of the family, the kid brother, Nanao, the drug user, the immunity booster. I think I said that right. But anyways, yeah, we gotta finally see an episode about him because Nuzumi had to stay behind in the house because who knows what might happen to her because she is definitely target number one for a lot of bad organizations. So as they get the house fixed up, everyone's staying home at the base, making sure nothing happens to her. While Tayo had to go to school despite having muscle cramps and stuff. I guess in Japan they really do take their attendance seriously in there, you know. And in fact, what I heard before by someone is that when you're at a workplace, you being there in attendance and being there for a long time matters more than your performance, most majority of the times. You know, if you're there constantly working the crunch, the after hours, joining the boss on the drinks and food, even if you don't want to, that matters more than your performance and you having ideas of how to freaking um, find ideas to make things better on the place. Unfortunately, and like when I heard that, like, damn, that sucks. That really sucks. But I guess their culture. But anyways, yeah, they take their tennis very seriously. But unless it's an anime. But anyways, we get to see Nanao and his abilities in a way because this entire time you see him, he's the kid brother, and you forget that yes, he is the kid brother. But you look at him and it's like, yeah, dude, there's no way because he's so humongous and big and muscular, and he wears a weird ass helmet on his head, a bucket no less, with a scribbly smiley face on it, and that proves that um that yeah, this kid is full of mysteries compared to all the other children in the house. You know, he's definitely the most mysterious one, and he probably is one of the most heaviest burden. Well, not burden, I would say. I think I'm using the wrong word there. It's the consequence to his genetic code. You know, it gave him immunity, but that immunity came at a cost. Now, it enhances himself. You think of a full immunity, you're immune to poison and stuff like that, but it goes somewhere. It enhances his body. So because of that, he had to constantly take drugs and stuff to make sure to calm himself down. Or else, if he's not taking them, something happens. So because of this, he doesn't see himself being able to go back to school every single time. But being Tayo, being the good big brother that he is, like, no, he shows how professional he is. In this episode, you see how much Tayo grown with his training. You know, at first you would see Tayo on the end where he is the receiving end, where he's always having to dodge, you know, just dodge, block, or whatever he can to do to survive with his training. But now his training has paid off, where he can help out his little brother, where people don't even see him to the naked eye. This dude can camouflage himself under the grass and help his brother out there in a baseball game. He can go in with a nice rifle. There's no cameras in Japanese school, apparently. Because I know there's cameras in our school, but dude, having no cameras, you will see the student carrying a rifle and shooting inside the class because he was helping him out with his side effect. He wants now to have a full nice school life, you know, not always being cooped up at home by himself. Because instead of doing a stereotype because he's small and nerdy, he gets picked on, no, instead he's small and nerdy and people like his company. He seems to be okay dude. They even made notes for him for the time he was gone. That must have been a lot of notes, depending on how long he's been gone. Then he even has part of a club with a president that's really obsessed with animals and also cares for her common colleagues as well. So he has a good school life. It's just that his side effects is what's bringing him back to the thing. So in this episode, we see what he had to go through on a daily basis. Constantly having to take the meds, constantly having to make sure he doesn't lose control of this, you could say, inner beast. Heck, eating the meds himself. If you saw that snake take him, it drove the snake mad and full of confusion to the point it was just going on a rampage along with the other animals too. I think the other animals were just freaking out. But Another question I have is who's paying for all this? You see the snake causing all this destruction around the place and everything. Who's going to report this? I saw a giant snake. You allow minors to deal with all these probably dangerous animals in your school. And it looked like a very important room that snake damaged up. Is anyone's going to pay for this? Who is going to pay for this? Is this even within the school's budget, for crying out loud? I don't fully know how things work in Japan, but I guess sometimes it's one of those things you have to turn your brain off and to enjoy. Um, it's very funny when I think about these things where you see all the crazy stuff happening inside of a school in these anime and manga, and you're like, you in the back of your mind, like, who's not noticing this? Who's not reporting on this? And who's gonna pay for all this? Like, it's funny what you think, man. But it's like I said, it's one of the things you just have to turn your brain off and just to enjoy. I understand that, so I just have to let it go. Just let it go. But yeah, in this episode, it pretty much shows how Nano is pretty much cared and also loved. Both through family and friends at school. The family cares for him because he's blood and stuff. They adore him, and the friends also feel the same way. They look after him. Who knows how long he's been gone from school, and his buddies already made notes for him. So imagine the amount of notes that they had to go out their way to constantly take notes for his kid who probably not come back. But they did it anyways out of their schedule, which they didn't have to do, but they did. It shows the kindness of his friends. Of course, you have a class president who only seems to be obsessed with animals, but actually did know some other things. He thought she only cared about animals and not humans, but she even noticed Taya when he thought she didn't, but she did. She was just focused more on Nanao and his safety, because he was going through a weird thing back there. And she made her own conclusion that he somehow had some form of metamorphosis. Metamorphosis, yes, I think that's how you say it. So yeah, man, she does care and stuff, man. And she even thought that Tyler wants to join the biology um club, the biology club, and he doesn't because you don't want to do all those animals biting you and stuff. But I joined the biology club, no, and the reason why is not because of the animals, but because of the humidity. Because when you're in those kind of clubs, it gets very, very warm, and I don't like very warm places. I don't like hot places. I like when things are cool or cold, but I can't stand when things are warm. That's why I can't wait for fall to get here already. Looking forward to it. But yeah, it was a nice little episode that after all the craziness that we just went through to see, you know, we get to know more about the family, the siblings, and stuff like that, them being goofy. But this one also was a bit serious towards the end. Looking out for your ones you care about, making sure that they have a nice life and stuff. Because, as you know, Tayo did have that, but lost it, but he got it back. And now he wants to make sure anyone else around him can also have a nice life. Because he believes everyone deserves to have a nice life, especially if they're a good person. So yeah, it was a nice, cute little episode. I enjoyed it. It was nice. I'm still trying to get used to the opening. It feels very generic compared to the first opening, which was very fun and creative. But anyways, let's look at this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, hit that bell icon. This is the background. I'm anime. Signing out.